Mental genetics is also a kind of a gift. Like you say, I've always pushed. I'm not trying to sound like, well, but I always felt like I've pushed harder than everybody. I think you've got to feel like that. If you don't feel like you're training harder than everybody else and dying harder than everybody else, I don't mean that disrespectful in any way to any other competitor, but you do. If you don't feel like that, then you're kind of not giving it everything you got, type of thing. And I do think some people don't have it. I'll be honest. Some people, there's some guys I've seen, physical genetics, just if they had it there, nobody would stand a chance.
Anybody posts like an actual reasonable comment or something in the comments on your YouTube page, guys, we'll give them a newly released Team Nasty No Mercy for the Bar hoodie and t-shirt. They're not even released yet. So
what if I comment?
No, you're bad. If you've got a comment, then you guys got to pick one, so you can pick yourself.
Well, you've got to put a winning comment, all right, but also the thing that tops the winning comment is any information that leads to the apprehension of the disliker. We have a serial disliker on the page.
Now we'll give you some free shit.
Lots of prizes, but the biggest prizes are for anyone who finds out who's hitting the dislike button. Any information leading to.
Dan's got it in for this guy now. This going down.
We need a name, okay? We'll keep looking for you, and then when I find you, I'm going to be like, no, dislike you.
His greenhouse windows are going out.
I'm going to be like, boo.
Dislike on his photos.
Yeah. Well, like, boo.
Dan will unfollow you.
Yeah, that's it. Sarah from accounts at Direct Line. No. I dislike you. Bad.
Rachel, I was doing an interview with Bang Bros. And hopefully she doesn't know what that means.
That would be pretty cool. No, to be fair, I'd probably take that. I'd take that over Bash Bros. I mean, it's kind of the same thing. I reckon we get rid of Garrett. He put in the password. He's a fucking slacker. Get rid of him. Then I'll get rid of Jack next for being too young, and then I'll send some ricin poison to Johnny, and then it'll just be the nasty show. Oh, there he is.
Mine's in.
I've just walked in. I've just walked into that.
Look into my eyes. Look into my eyes.
What eyes?
Can.
How was your trip, Dan?
Mate, I'd literally rather have all my teeth pulled out than do that trip ever again.
Yeah, I've not got any teeth left now, so.
To be fair, I think the other one's coming out now where I haven't had it fixed, it's still open. No, I'm Ellis's caddy for the weekend, so I'm like literally just following her around like a fucking bitch. Just like, oh yes, oh yeah. Like, so, yeah, this weekend's not been for me. It was nice to see Dan Welburn and Matt Tofton and that and hang out for a little bit, but ultimately I just saw lots of girls wearing bikinis, which would be right normally, but Alice hasn't spoken to me the whole time we've been here, so it's been pretty fucking pointless to me. I'm basically just a dog. I'm just a dog handler.
And the moaner.
Shut
and
up,
the moaner.
And the moaner.
Dan doesn't moan, does he? Never really noticed.
And the Mona Lisa.
I did see the.
Jess was down there, wasn't she? I spoke to Jess. She said.
I did see the broccoli you did as well. That was quite ingenious.
Yes, yeah, I thought that was a nice touch. Got nothing. Got nothing. Not even a bollock tickle for that.
No, you've got no bollocks left, man. You're on sale for like 15 years.
I'm gonna start a site injection line, I think.
Tell me you've got testicles in your erections, young man.
Well, two little raisins, ghosts that tell stories.
He's in the midline.
Are you going to start this shit up, Johnny, with a really shit intro like you always do?
Oh, you're so original, Dan. You say that every week.
Right, I've just turned that mic up. Is that a little bit better?
Yeah,
Yeah,
better,
mate.
Anth.
Can you turn your Geordie down?
Oh, dude, listen. Do you know when I do all the American podcasts? I have to talk like this, and today I'm just like full Geordie Mackham fucking. You don't understand me subtitled.
No one understands the Welsh lot. No one's going to understand.
This is what I mean. So it's all carnage anyway. So we might as well just go for it. I'll try and slow it down a little bit. Do my American kind of.
You do the hand movement at the same time.
Yeah. It's been a long week, man. You're getting full Geordie. I'm sorry. I'm not even Geordie anyway. I'm Geordie, Mackham, Durham, combined into one. So it's even worse.
Mackham, Woodley, Sunderland, man.
It's the worst impression ever done. Honestly.
Wait, I was bang on. I was
Man.
Oh, God, man.
Dan's just a freak.
Hey, you were late. You can't.
Oh, I can't do it. I'm not going to say fuck all.
Right. Welcome back to episode 18 of Bash Bros podcast. This week we have Anth Bales, IFBB Pro, multiple NABA champion. Well, you name it, he's won it. I'll share the page. Usual thing that we do. If you're not following Anth, head over, show him some support. This was the man who was winning everything when I first got into bodybuilding. So it's quite an honour to have him on. But yeah, the usual thing, Anth, if you can do us a favour, bud, give us a little rundown of your career, I guess.
A little rundown of the career. First of all, thanks for having me on, gents. We've had some pretty cool guests. Actually, I'll be catching some of the episodes. It was Cuba, the last one, yeah?
Yeah, Cuba.
No, the last one was no one.
Oh, right. Sorry. Oh, here we go, man. Sorry, guys. I had to cancel last week. We had a bit of a COVID nightmare at the gym. We actually closed the gym. So that kind of lost me a couple of days and we were running a little bit behind. So I do apologise for last week. So we're here now anyway. So yeah, a little bit of background. Started training at about 15. The UK guys have probably heard this 100 times over. We'll go through it quickly. So I started training about 15, competed at about 17 in the junior kind of ranks up until I went to the junior Mr. Britain and I really did not place. I don't know if any of you guys remember Stuart Core. Not Stuart Core, Stuart Cameron. Can you remember him, the Scottish guy? I am old as fuck, so it's probably just me who remembers him. But yeah, he was a real good junior, huge junior. And I remember lining up behind him at the junior Britain finals. I was thinking, fuck, what the fuck? But anyway, he won that show. I had some advice to go on zero carbs for like 3 weeks. And it didn't turn out well. But unfortunately, Stuart actually passed away at like 21, I think 22. So rest in peace. Yeah, so we did the juniors, and then we competed in NABA up until about 23, I think. Class 3, the shorty class. Took a little bit of a break from bodybuilding, just to do some personal stuff. And for about 5 years, I was still training, heavy in the gym and stuff. And I was feeding the food, but I wasn't like a competitive bodybuilder. I feel like I wasn't kind of. I was basically doing a little bit of partying and stuff. And I maybe had an early midlife crisis. That was up until about 30, and then I got diagnosed with the type 1 diabetes. So we calmed the partying down and stuff, and started taking the training, the competitive side of bodybuilding a little bit more serious again. Because basically, the doctors told me to, as they do, listen, you've got diabetes, you shouldn't be doing this bodybuilding and eating protein and taking creatine and stuff. So yeah, that was kind of the start of the competitive stuff again. So I competed again in 2009. I did okay at the Britain. I think we got something like 4th of the NABA Britain finals. Then we went to the Universe. I think I got 5th, something like that. 5th or 6th. It was the first year we were kind of learning how to diet with the diabetes and stuff. And then a few guys said, we thought you got shafted at the Universe with the 5th, which I honestly thought it was a fair place to be fair. It was a good lineup. But anyway, I got persuaded to do the UK, because they used to have the NABA UK after the Universe to qualify for the final. The next year's Britain finals. So we managed to get a win at the NABA UK, which qualified me for the following year's Britain finals. But due to some injuries and stuff, I didn't compete in that year. So that took us up to, so 2009, 2010, 2011 I didn't compete. 2012 was like the breakout year when we managed to win like the Britain, the Worlds and stuff. And then we switched over to UKPFF at the time. You know, won the show there, managed to get the pro card. And we turned pro in 2012. So that's kind of a competitive timeline.
I remember 2012, literally just seeing a forearm turn up in a hoodie and thinking, the fuck is this guy? And I was like, fuck. And then I seen your face and you had the proper AIDS face. And I was like, shit, Anth Bales. And then I saw you backstage. I think you were getting tanned up by Lee. And which I also had the pleasure of being tanned by later. Little did I know at that stage we would share the same tan man. And I just thought,
yes, a little.
Fuck! I remember that you were wearing the red panties, and I thought, well, that's that done then.
In the dream tan.
In the dream tan, mate.
Yeah, I did have AIDS face because I've been dieting like 11 months. So.
Well, didn't you have loads of stomach issues?
Beat up by that point.
You didn't have stomach issues?
No, that was actually the NABA Worlds that we had the stomach issues.
Okay, well, you
without
could
being too graphic.
One fish head and a rice flake a day.
I was pretty much. No, that was body power actually. But NABA Worlds, I literally had the runs until like an hour before pre-judging, and I didn't think I was going to be able to get on stage. And just luckily, the man upstairs must have thought, "Listen, let's give this guy a break," because literally after the pre-judging, I literally got the shits again. So someone up there was looking out for me that day.
Oh, mate. You'd forever just be
the crazy thing was as well. The crazy thing was I was literally on the toilet like non-stop without being too graphic. And so, as anal as I am, I always take a scale wherever I compete. I take a scale, and like the body weight wasn't coming down, so we were kind of good to go. Even though we lost about 6 pounds of feces leading up to the pre-judging. But anyway, let's stop that one there. Yeah, that was 2012 with the stomach issues, and we did have some issues again in 2014 when we did body power. So we had a stomach issue done.
Yeah.
So is that the main reason why you haven't really competed since was it 2014 your last show?
Fucking hell, wait,
so we did. Let me think. So 2014 we did body power, which I wasn't really going to do. The goal was to compete internationally and get like top 10 at an international show. With body power, you know, it was a home show. It was in Britain. You got to support the shows. You know what I mean? They had a 212 class, so the goal there was to break the top 6. I think I got 7th or 8th. I honestly can't remember. I remember Sammy Al-Har won that show really good. And yeah, I had some stomach issues. I had a hernia that needed repair, and just some major digestive issues, to be honest. And what it boiled down to in the end was just, because I went to see some specialists and stuff. It was basically just repetitive eating of the same foods over and over again. The body was just, building up allergies to certain foods. So once we started to vary the diet a little bit, we don't have that many issues at this point. But no, that isn't the reason why I haven't been competing. It's basically down to injuries. We're kind of falling apart right now, so that's why I haven't been.
Is there a specific injury that's stopping you, or just like a host of
the major one? I mean, obviously we all get like, I've had a couple of pec tears and stuff. They're not too bad. They're only like grade 1s. The usual niggles here and there. But the main issue now is I've got a herniated C6. I did that like 3 years ago, and it makes the right side just a little bit weaker. And I have got a little bit of atrophy on the C6 affects the brachioradialis and the rear delt, and to the lat to some degree. So there's a little bit of atrophy on the rear delt in the brachioradius on this side. But it is coming back. I mean, basically what happens is the nerve can regrow a new root. So when we first did it, I'll give you an example. Like, we couldn't curl like a 5 kilo dumbbell. I couldn't even press a 10. Now I can curl like a 27.5, and I can dumbbell press like a 65, which, it's still like down from the usual numbers, but a massive improvement. It's just taken so long, like I say, it's took like 3.5 years to get to this point, and it's still not 100%. I don't think it will ever be 100%, to be fair, unless I kind of opt for the surgery route, which at this point I don't think I'm going to do, to be honest.
So is there any intention to compete again?
Not if I can't train 100%. There's no way I can train. Again, there's some movements I can do the same as I used to, but there's some movements that are just out. And again, sometimes we can have like a real good stretch of training for like a month or two, and all of a sudden, bang, this will kick off. The pain will kick in. It's not so much the pain; it's the lack of function. On certain movements like lat pull down and dumbbell curl and rows and stuff, the right side just isn't as strong. And I don't mean just, we've all got like a little discrepancy between each side. This side's at about 75%. If it kicks off and it's really bad, then it might go down like 60%. So if you can't train your right side, basically basically the philosophy of the training right now is I do what the right side can do. So let's say I pick a certain weight and I do the right side and I get 10 reps with it and it fails. I just do the same with the other side, even though that might have like another 6, 7, 8 reps left. That's kind of the way we kind of, because, if I'm going to go to failure on this side, it's going to cause probably going to cause a massive imbalance. So yeah, it is what it is, unless I kind of go to get the disc fused and stuff, which at 43, I've got a young daughter and stuff. I would hate to think it went wrong and I ended up busted up with a nasty old spine. So yeah, I mean, I do think about it now and again, but
I remember you said that the deciding factor not to go on the surgery was the risk of like fucking yourself up for the Leah, really. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to be like a 44-year-old bodybuilder who took all the risks for the surgery and end up in a wheelchair and I can't play with my daughter. You know what I mean? And to be fair, I can still train reasonably hard. I can't train how I used to, but you can still get some good workouts in.
Mate, you still smash most people up on the legs.
Yeah, not at the moment because the knee's fucked, so we've busted the knee up on the... Oh man, it's that fucking pendulum squat. Just put an extra 10 kilo on, thinking I was 25 years old. The kneecap didn't want to know. So yeah, we're probably going to have to miss legs tomorrow. They're actually that painful. So yeah, we're just all the shit, man, but we're hanging in.
Me and Anth sometimes are literally the most depressing things ever. Like, we do the check-in stuff. It's like, yeah, the week, you eat the food, yeah, food, yeah, cool. And then we just moan at each other.
We're just stating the facts, man. We're just, that's how it is. People think I'm being lazy and I don't want to compete. And it's not that at all. I would love to get on stage because, the pro debuts, I was off. There's no doubt about it, I was off. And I would like to go back, at my best, if you like. Even if I came dead last, as long as I was at my best. Because I wasn't at my best at the Body Power Show in Toronto. But to be fair, there weren't bad results. I mean, I went out to Toronto, the goal was top 10, and I got 10th out of like 30 competitors. So it's not, it wasn't a bad result for a first international show. But I was still off, I was really flat. With some stomach distension, which I'm sure hurt me in the jiu-jitsu.
So for anyone who's watching, who's wondering what Dan is doing, he's currently in the car. Driving back from Hull, so I just thought I'd put that in there because we haven't really explained to the viewers who are probably tuning in for the Dan show and probably going to get a bit less Dan than they usually used to.
In the car with Ron and Abe and Ellis, and we've been in the car for what feels like about 3 weeks. We're literally just pulling up to our house. So what I might do is disconnect and run in the house in a second and pick you up when I've actually got some connection.
You're not doing any running, Dan. Let's be honest.
He's going to waddle.
297.
There'll be a little waddle, maybe.
If you are going to run in, can we see it on film, please?
Please don't run because you need good legs. I don't want to get a patella tendon.
If I ran anyway, These are just snap off.
So it's the most shit stories when they do that as well, and they'll have like a major injury, and they're like, "How'd you do it?"
Oh, mate.
Yeah, I ran in the house.
I think Daz Ball or something like. I remember he tore his like bicep or triceps, and it was. I think he was like pulling like a tissue out of like the Blue Roll dispenser or something, or like I can't. It was like something like the shittest thing you could do ever. Yeah, it's never a good.
When that happens, you've got to make something up. Like I was inclined 700. Don't say you're pulling the tissue out of a box.
When I was bumming a great white shark, I just didn't see the boyfriend.
And one other thing I wanted to discuss was that we've had a lot of feedback from the whole Ryan situation, so I just wanted to touch on it quickly because this is quite early in the podcast, so people might actually still be watching this bit.
Here we go.
No, there's no bad feeling between us and Ryan for everyone to know because I've had a lot of messages. Ryan's obviously too busy.
He unfollowed us on all social media.
Yes, yeah, he did unfollow us all on social media, but
really?
To be fair, mate, he didn't follow me in the first place. So it's all good.
But all I want to get, and I want to leave it there, is that there's no bad blood. I don't want people to think it's a personal issue between us and Ryan. When Dan jokes about saying things, I think some people are taking it a little bit too far. His comments on YouTube and stuff, which people I think again they're taking it a little bit too personally. So we're going to leave it at that. Ryan started this podcast with us and can't do it anymore. And I think that's probably all we need to talk about it. And I just
wish Ryan all the best. He's a fellow bodybuilder. Of course we do. We were like, it was actually annoying he couldn't make it last time because I wanted to talk about his prep and what he was doing, which is perfect. But he wasn't there. I'm going to log off now, and because I've got home, so I'll see you in 2 minutes.
Okay, we'll fire some questions.
Run.
Wait.
I guess next.
Actually, I probably don't follow anybody. I do apologise. I'm shit at following people.
Anth, trust me.
Stuff.
Don't start with it because it's quite. It sort of goes back to your like starting bodybuilding and your early days. So obviously, growing up in the northeast, what was sort of your pathway into bodybuilding? Did you play sport at all from a young age? Where did you start training, stuff like that?
I was in sports when I was younger. I pretty much tried every single sport. And I'm talking, I did like volleyball, netball, rounders, rugby, football. Jesus, everything. Just did everything at school. Didn't really like any of it, to be honest. So yeah, I'll have a go, I'll have a try. The whole weight training thing came about. My uncle was a competitive bodybuilder. He's like, yeah, you're coming to the gym. And I'll be honest, I didn't really like it at first. I wasn't really into the whole weight training thing at first. And then I started seeing some results pretty quick. And it kind of encouraged me to keep going. So that was that was about 15, 16. So that's how it progressed from there. Basically, my uncle was a bodybuilder. And I always looked quite... obviously athletic, but I always looked like I did a bit of weight training, and people would always say, you go to the gym, and I was like, no, I don't train. They used to say, you have good potential, you should do a bit of training, maybe do a contest or something. So yeah, that's how it started.
Can you put your microphone a bit closer, Anth?
I was about to say, I thought it was me in the car, but yeah, Anth's.
Right. That is literally on my lap. Shall I try and turn it up a little bit?
Are you sure you're not accidentally using the Beats as a mic?
No. We're on the road. Right, this is what you got. This is the best you're going to get, guys.
That's fine.
Right, yeah.
Is it that bad?
No, that's better.
Better, yeah.
But it's just exactly the same as well. I'll keep shouting then, yeah?
Yeah, just shout. It'd be good.
Just shout.
Okay. Right, next question.
Jack, you got more, bud?
No, you can jump in. It's fine.
All right. This is from your buddy off the script. Where was it? He did ask about.
You're not very punctual tonight, G.
You are, sorry?
You're not very punctual tonight.
I know, my phone keeps coming off. I should have written down. Well, right, Anth, what was it like closing down Maxi Muscle gym? Max Muscle.
Oh my God, you just said the horrendous word.
Maxi Muscle.
Fuck.
Yeah, and you've had a stinker
guys.
today, mate.
Sorry,
Mate,
guys.
really
Why?
Stinker.
Right,
That's just fucking late.
right, cut that fucking shit out.
Edit that shit out, man. No,
I ain't
the reason
editing
why I
this.
say that is because, we had a trademark issue with Maxi Muscle, with the brand. So they didn't like that I was using Max Muscle for my nutrition brand. So literally just this week tied that up. Just finished all the lawyers' letters and everything, and it's kind of finished. So yeah, we had to change the name.
What was the
Because
reason
they
to
said
change
it
that name?
sounded. We're now 100% a Nothing Pro series. The whole series thing, but hey, what choices have you got? To be honest, that was actually the name that I wanted to call it in the first place. But at the time, the partners that I partnered up with, they wanted to keep the Max Muscle thing going because I wanted to separate the Max Muscle gym from the Max Muscle supplements. So really, we went full circle. So in 3 years' time, we went back to the original name that I wanted to call it. But yeah, we had a bit of a, it's not a problem now, I can mention that now. We had an issue with the trademark with Maxi Muscle. So that's why I said, well, do not say that word. But yeah, what was it like closing Max Muscle Gym? I'll be honest, it's been so busy that I haven't had like a massive time to think about it. The only time it really hit home was a couple of days ago, actually. I went in there to just remove like the final bits and pieces from the gym. Just some like, not machines and stuff, just some personal stuff, and pictures and stuff. I'll be honest, I got a little bit of a lump in the throat and I felt a bit strange. I had my, Dan will understand this one, because I used to bring Floyd in there, my bulldog, unfortunately he's passed away now. And he had a little picture on the gate where he used to come in and stuff. And yeah, it was a little bit emotional, if you like. We were there 17 years. I saved up since I was like 18 years old to open that place. I think we opened when I was 25, 17 years. But yeah, the time was right to move on. The opportunity was right. And now we've got this COVID thing. I honestly don't think you're going to see many smaller gyms around for much longer, unfortunately. The small hardcore type of places. Even the last year, this was kind of why I was making plans to open a bigger place anyway. Like, I'll give you an example. Like Max Muscle, we didn't have any change rooms. We didn't have any showers. We used to have change rooms. It didn't even get used. I changed it into a boxing room. Didn't get used. So it ended up just being a storage room. I noticed over the last year or so, more people are asking if I had a changing room. More people are asking if I had showers. Nowadays, people don't just go to the gym just to train. It is more of an additional social aspect. So yeah, we decided to open the bigger place, and I'm sure you guys know that Max Muscle merged with Ultraflex. So now we have Ultraflex Durham, Ultraflex 100% of Northern Gym. And I really feel we've got like the best of both worlds, to be honest. One of the concerns for me going from a small hardcore type bodybuilding gym and open like a big, 16, 17,000 square feet unit was the atmosphere. Because I'm sure you've been in some of those gyms where you're walking and saying, it just something's not right when it's a big open space. But yeah, I think we've got the right balance in the new place. And we have got the hardcore corner, which has some of the old Max Muscle stuff in there, just for the
I think an atmosphere like builds though, still new. I reckon it like Max Muscle had all the sweat and blood from like everyone's. It builds. I like smaller gyms like Anth, like the Temple, like I love Max Muscle and stuff. Like you feel like boxed in. So like yeah, even I struggle with it, but Ultraflex have got it like right in the middle. They can generate the atmosphere, and then it is like huge, but it is the best of both worlds, like you said. But I still like a dark corner. We've still got the hardcore corner.
Yeah, we still got the hardcore corner, and we have all the leg equipment under the mezzanine, so you kind of feel like
it boxes it in a bit more.
Yeah.
The thing with gyms these days is that gym prices are probably going down, yet obviously the price of rent or anything along those lines is going up exponentially. So you look at it, like you say, Anth, for a smaller gym, it's like almost not sustainable even without COVID.
Yeah, I mean, we were doing okay because I owned the building, so we didn't have massive overheads, and we were still making decent money. But again, I could see the trend. I could see the gyms around me closing, and you know, my gym, like, you know, trying to sound like, I had my name, like that kind of carried it a little bit. You know, ifbb Pro and all that stuff. So we were still getting people through the doors, but I could see the decline was happening. But again, honestly, I don't think you're going to see many legit kind of hardcore gyms in the next few years.
Do you remember the changing rooms at Temple?
Yeah, where they just had a urinal without any toilet.
Yeah.
And the first time I trained in there, there was actually like blue needles embedded into the floor. It looked like they'd been there for about 35 years.
Fuck.
And I remember looking in the shower thinking, fuck me, I ain't going in that shower.
No.
They had like fucking moss and everything in the foot. Yeah, and that place was awesome. I mean, did all you guys train at the old Temple gym?
I never went.
No.
Yeah,
that
go
was an
down there.
experience.
I went twice, I think. Twice. Yeah, it was something. Going down those stairs was something.
Yeah, I had the privilege to train with Dorian and Leroy in there, so good times, man. Awesome memories.
So I had a question. The question was, what split would you recommend for someone that can only train 3 days a week, been training for 5 years for maximum muscle gain? How many exercises and reps? That's like a huge question, but basically, just stick with the training split.
We'll leave Dan's comment off because he's so patient. But yeah, it is a bit of a long question for a quick podcast, but I would go chest, shoulders, triceps Monday, legs in the middle, back biceps Friday. So legs Wednesday, back biceps Friday, weekend off. There's your 3 days. And if any of you guys follow my stuff, I'm a low volume, kind of high intensity guy. So I think you can build a awesome physique in 3 days a week. I mean, McNabb's only training 3 days a week now, aren't you, Dan? Yeah.
Yeah. And I don't even split it into 3. It's split into 4. So I only train everything every 10 days. I mean, my recovery's shit because I sleep for 30 seconds a week. So hopefully, if you're a bit younger than me, you're probably doing like a little bit better. But yeah, if you're doing, it's not what you do though, is it? It's how you fucking do it.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, if you're only training 3 days a week, you've got to really give it some. If you're going in there doing some cable crossovers or whatever, yeah, ain't much going to happen. But like you say, you don't need to be 5-6 days a week for 2 hours. You really don't. I mean, when you just said there about the 10-day thing, I was my strongest and heaviest, hitting everything once every 10 days. But it's hard because you want to be in the gym. You know, you feel like you're pulling back, but if the improvements are coming, so.
Well, Anth said something to me that he apparently heard from Dorian, but maybe you made it up just to make me listen. He was like, well, Dorian said, do you like being in the gym more than you like winning?
That wasn't it. It was, do you like being in the gym more than you like results?
Oh, like results, sorry.
So if you're a competitive bodybuilder, then you want the results, don't you?
Yeah.
If you're a non-competitive bodybuilder, then yeah, you might enjoy going to the gym more times a week. So it depends what you want. If you want more muscle tissue, you know, don't be scared to cut it back.
It's a hard mentality to get on board with initially because you think more is more. But more shit is just shit. Like 100 times nothing is still nothing.
Well, I think it's difficult because early days of like JP he was driving home that say if a person could train the body part twice a week, they were going to get twice the results given if they could recover. But then I think people's interpretation of what recovery is two different things. So like people are like, well, you know, I'm only a little bit sore, so I can do it again. But then obviously they don't really understand. Sometimes I don't think they've taken the bigger picture of recovery. You know, if they think they can hit everything twice a week and still recover, then they must just be training like a pussy.
Your audio shit as well now.
Yeah.
But they were all pushing the DC training, weren't they, initially? I remember Sando was and JP and like Hollinshead, they were on the DC wagon for a while, weren't they? Like super low volume, twice a week, like super, super heavy, Dusty Hanshaw sort of stuff, weren't they? That was what was in then. But before JP made everyone do RDLs, and now the whole gym is just filled with people doing RDLs, snatch grip RDLs, 8,000 kilo RDLs that are actually deadlifts.
And shaky RDLs.
Yeah, and Parkinson's by Jack. Shaken Stevens.
Honestly, if you can recover and progress from training everything twice a week, do it. Just the majority of people can't. The majority of people got real jobs, they've got kids, you've got outside stresses. People don't realise that type of stuff affects your recovery as well, like the outside stresses and stuff. And, if you can eat, train, sleep, then maybe you can get away with.
I did try a JP program, like back in the day. Contacted him and thought, hey, can you sort me out programs? And yeah, bought one off him, normal, and I did it, and I got weaker every week and smaller and shitter. And I'm not saying that it wasn't like there weren't people doing it that were getting results. I couldn't recover from it, and I basically I got shitter fast, like noticeably shitter every week. It just wasn't possible.
Was it like a one-off sort of plan that he gave to you?
Yeah, it was a one-off. But I was just interested to see I
think the only issue with that is with someone like yourself, who sleep is crap, which you admit, your stress is high. Like you're gonna have to have someone monitor things all the time and assess whether you're gonna have to sort of pull volume down and stuff like that. Because
I've got the best coach in the world.
Ah, well, that's the thing. Plug.
That's not what you said. That's not what you said last week.
Yeah, I think it probably was.
Probably talking shit, wasn't he?
He's telling us last week.
I'll get his. Do you want to get his naked check-in?
Do it.
Mate, I talk shit about a lot of people, but you wouldn't see me slating Anth. Oh no, actually no, I did call Anth a midget, I think, once.
That's maybe warranted, but I'll still kick your ass in the gym down.
I did get an official warning about a pants upload from Bales after that comment.
Yeah, I've got about 4 years worth of underpants. Nothing out there. I could just click the button and upload the grinder. not that I've got an account.
Yeah.
and get zero responses.
But yeah, to be fair, man, we've all bullshit aside, we've been doing pretty good, to be fair. And I have to give him props, because I'm one of those guys. I ain't going to massage your ego and give you a big cuddle now and again. I've got the old saying.
No, I did get a man hug once. Or was
back in 82.
Yeah, I did get one.
Honestly, do you know what? I've got that old saying, hate me now, thank me later. And I don't care if you don't like me. I just want you to win. And then when you win, you get your man cuddle.
Yeah.
And you've been winning some shows. You've been putting tissue on, so I'm happy.
But the thing is if someone's and you see a lot of people now as well that you think that the volume of smoke that must have been blown up their arse, how do they then know if it's actually good? If you're told it's great all the time, how do you know when it's actually good? I'd rather be told you're fat, whatever. What is this? And then if Anth says in the check-in that's decent, then you know it's decent.
Yeah, because there's no need to kind of, like you say, over smoke it and oh yeah, damn, you look awesome. That to me will possibly make you slacken off a little bit. Maybe it's not yourself, but a lot of guys it would. I think this is the problem now. Everybody's in the gym saying, "Oh, you look awesome." Because people say to me, "Oh yeah, you still look good, Anth." No, I'm not. You can still compete. No, there's no way I can stand on the 212 stage. I think what people's idea of what is good now is kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? Just a little bit diluted.
Yeah, it is a bit diluted.
Have you ever found, do you know, so your hardcore old school mentality resonates with, obviously, especially me and Dan, obviously being in the game for a while. But have you not found that now when you're introducing yourself to people that they can't tolerate your straight talk as much?
You say straight talk. I'm not harsh. I'm never ever harsh. I'm always honest, but I'll always kind of give somebody some constructive feedback. So let's see if a guy comes and says, "Yeah," because you know yourself, you get guys posting messages to you, "Hey, Anth, what do you think? I'm not going to compete." And maybe the guy's nowhere near ready. You know the crap guys. It's guys have been training like a year and they want to get on stage and they haven't really gained any muscle tissue yet. And I will say, yeah, I don't think you're ready to step on stage, but yeah, you've got a nice V-taper or you've got nice structure. I'll try and give them some constructive feedback. And
they
give
call
them
that
a little bit of
shit
motivation.
sandwich, I think.
Man, it's just, yeah, I get lots of, and to be fair, I will be doing them a disservice by saying, yeah, man, you're looking fucking awesome. Get on stage, you'll blow people away. And you're just going to get up there at like 15% body fat with not much tissue, which is happening a lot these days.
Yeah.
Just wait till you're ready, man. It's
like the fucking, it's like the X Factor, isn't it? Like, who's telling these people they can sing? Like, who said, oh, yeah, that's really great, Sharon. You should definitely go on national TV and make a complete cunt of yourself. That's a great idea. And I agree with Anth. Like, when you're ready, obviously most people aren't going to, like, enter and just win everything. Like, you know, but I think there's a point where someone should say, please don't, you know, not stage yet. Like, you look good in the gym and stuff, and that's cool. Just wait a little bit longer until, you know, you can, like, start, you know, there's, you know, there are
or you can just do classic.
You can do it.
I actually like classic physique. Listen, guys, honestly, if you're going to do a bodybuilding show, look like a bodybuilder. If you're going to do a fucking swimming contest, you should be able to swim fast. If you're going to be a powerlifter, you should be strong. If you're going to do that chosen thing, you should fit the criteria. I just don't know what it is about bodybuilding where people just think, hey, let's just have a go. I might just fucking have a go at the 100-meter sprint tomorrow, like it's a contest, and just kill myself. But no, jokes aside, you should be able to perform or look a certain way that fits that kind of contest that you're in. I'm not going to I'm not going to enter a tap dancing contest. Tap dance, so.
Mate, there's so many things I want to sponsor right now. Like, mate, go fun.
I should have said that, should I really? So.
Mate, I don't think there's anything I'd rather see more than that, like, in the whole world.
Yeah, well, maybe we'll hook a team to actually tap dance.
Okay, me, you, and Leroy. The fuck?
Leroy, I just thought of Leroy earlier, actually, just mentioning Mr. Davis. He's back. He's high squatting again. He's using the Hatfield bar.
Really?
He's 50
what, in his garden still?
No, he's back in the gym. He's squatting in the gym now. So said he's coming for us.
Oh, man.
All this COVID bullshit spots off, he's coming. But yeah, like you say, that was a bit vague, but I'm sure you get the point that I mean. If you're going to do a bodybuilding contest, you should really look like a bodybuilder. You know?
It's kind of like I've seen this. This question came up the other day that I come across, and they said, "You're not a bodybuilder if you haven't competed. You may train like one until you competed. You're not a bodybuilder." Now, I only class myself, and this goes two ways to be fair. But I only class myself as a bodybuilder after I'd done a show. I've been training for years, but I only really class myself as being a bodybuilder since doing a show. Like, but what's your boys' thoughts on that?
Well, I mean, if you're a competitive bodybuilder, and you're a bodybuilder. If you're building your body, you're a bodybuilder.
Yeah.
Once you've competed, you're a competitive bodybuilder. So that would be the two categories I would kind of.
Yeah, that's a better format.
I'd say that if you're sculpting your body out of muscle, you're a bodybuilder. Whether you're a girl, whether you're a boy, whether you just started or whatever. I think and that misconception with females probably what was keeping them out of the fucking weights room for so long. I do a bodybuilder, I'm going to do 3 reps of this bicep curl and have 22-inch arms and grow a beard, like that shit, like, you know. Yeah, I think if you're making muscle, you're a bodybuilder, right?
Yeah.
A competitive one, yes.
Not a competitive one yet. Yeah, I don't understand the rush again. I don't know. I don't like being on stage, and I know Anth's like that's not Anth's favourite bit either, is it?
No, I love it, man. I love it dancing in the pants. That's the favourite part. Can you not tell? Actually, do you know what? A lot of people said, oh, you really look like you're enjoying yourself on stage, which I guess I'm doing a good job because I really don't. I like the comparisons where that to me is competing against another guy, but yeah, the free pose and stuff, it's not my thing.
The pose down makes me, when they're like, yeah, pose down, I just want to be like, fucking just evaporate off the front, just turn to sludge.
I like the pose down.
You like the fuck? I'm not sure about the pose down.
It's the fight, isn't it? It's the fight.
That should be your thing. It's because it's the most muscular round, basically, isn't it?
Yeah, Dan will be like that old video of the Italian guy who starts throwing the fucking microphone around.
Oh yeah, that was decent. Doesn't he like slap a judge in the face?
Yeah. Slap the guy, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, that was fucking gully. The guy flew as well. Yeah, that was bad.
Take the pose down a little bit.
I don't know. I'm not sure. Like the pose down's always like I'm like fuck. I don't really know what I'm doing, so I just like as well. Like there's like pushing and shoving and like I don't know. Sometimes I just think I might actually just uppercut this guy in the face. I just like.
See, if you're looking good, man, nobody's pushing next to you. If you're standing out, people are staying away. So.
Or even worse, it's always the guy. The guy who doesn't even remotely.
Yeah, it's always the guy that looks the worst that does all the pushing.
The guy who stands in front of you.
But you can see he hasn't masked any of you.
My first show is interesting. My first show, you know, when you can't really see the crowd, it's just the lights.
Yeah.
So my first show, you know, I was trying to make a good effort, and I went to the front to like do a bit of posing and pose down and stuff, and I was literally like 1 centimeter away from falling off. Like, if I'd have fell off, that would have just been it. You would never see me ever again, like ever anywhere. And I was like, oh my god, it's like again. If I'd have fell off there into the judges, that would have just been awful. So yeah, just remember that one. Now, next show you do, just remember where the edge of the stage is.
Yeah.
I was literally like, fucking gonna fall off.
I don't think anyone could top Michael Hearn though.
Yeah, the Michael Hearn one's
when he actually just disappeared.
Sorry, Mike. We should have laughed. I've seen that.
You got to style it out then. No, you got to style it out and go start posing.
How the fuck can you style out doing it?
You got to like start posing in the crowd
onto the fucking judge bench, like
pretend you jumped down on purpose or something.
The worst one I ever saw was at the NABA UK, and a guy attempted a backflip, and he fell flat on his face. So he thought, yeah, I'm going to try that again. He did it again, and I was like, oh, fuck, he tried it 3 times, and he did it 3 times, just landed on his face. So he was forever like the backflip guy who failed. He had a great physique as well. He just like, please don't do it again. I was probably like praying for him to get it, and it just didn't happen, unfortunately. He was no rolling leader, unfortunately.
The backflip's got to be a one. It's got to be a 1 or nothing, hasn't it? Really, I would have probably just hit a front double and just walked off at that point.
Yeah, I think you should try a backflip down on the next show.
Mate, I reckon backflip into full front like splits, just straight on the plums, and that's it. The whole routine, just do that and just stay on the splits.
You've got to do that though.
Well, mate, my flexibility is basically there already, so it's gonna be fine.
And you have the flexibility of a piece of wood.
Literally.
2 by 4.
That was me trying to scratch my back, by the way. It's there somewhere.
Just remember that I saw your side tricep this morning when you. I have to like throw the arm back. Yeah, it's not. Yeah, full off season, just can't move.
It's ugly. It is ugly right now.
Should be ugly. So you look pretty, man. You just get to a certain point. But yeah, I rarely give Mr. McNabb props because I am quite harsh. But I've got to give him his due. He's had no mouth. He hasn't been sleeping and stuff, and he still had pretty good push this one, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's been alright.
Chilling in the garden, no mouth, no teeth.
Yeah.
Gum infections. Again, the whole sleep apnea thing.
Oh, and then I got a pec tear as well last week. That was cool.
What was it this morning? 297?
Yeah.
I mean, again, I know wheat is and everything, but now there's not a ton of body fat there, man. Yeah, there's some bloat, but there's not a shit ton of body fat there.
There's definitely some.
So that's your yearly pat on the back.
I was soaking it up. Don't worry. I was like,
let's just finish it right now.
We've got it on
what we'll do is
so we can replay it.
Yeah,
over and over.
We'll replay it over and over and loop.
Now he's just going to get tortured until he gets the 4 cards.
That's what I'm doing. And Johnny's going to just edit it out.
It didn't exist.
It never happened. Or just put Ryan's name in it.
It's definitely Operation Pro Card next year. I mean, it's going well. It is going well, to be fair. There's a few issues.
Anth, do you help many people, or is Dan like a special person?
I'm definitely special.
I can tell you now that I've just had a look tonight. I've got 12 people on coach, and that's it.
Okay.
I usually do 10
are they
people.
all competitors?
No, about, let me think. So we've got Dan, Ryan, me, let me think, Lee. Sorry, my brain's terrible. Probably like 8 of them, yeah, and 3 like regular. I only ever do 10 people, so I'm just too busy with other stuff. You know, props to these coaches who do it full time and they have like 50 plus clients. Honestly, like my head would be mash. You know, I mean, I'm guessing like they have the computer all day long, but yeah, I'm busy with other stuff, with the clothing and the nutrition, and obviously like running the bigger gym now. So 10's just a nice number that I enjoy doing it, and I don't feel like there's massive pressure and stuff. But yeah, we've got a couple of regular people.
I think that like Anth likes to actually know what the fuck's going on, and I think that if you've got like 100 clients, there's no idea. There's no way that you know what the fuck's going on. Like, it's just impossible.
A lot of these like big platforms now, they've got like coaches who work under that one person's name, haven't they? They've got like
employees. Sharon from Direct Line has moved over to do plans for bodybuilding. Hello, it's Sharon from Muscles. How may I help you?
A lot of people don't realise they're actually not getting a plan from that person they think they're getting it from.
Yeah.
I will say that I was told that, you know, I'm not going to say it online, whatever. But there's one big American name coach whose wife does like the majority of the replies. You know, he has
I know who that is as well.
The main guys who are doing well, the big names, and then he's got like 120 or whatever who the wife replies to, which really stinks. I couldn't do that, man. So this is the thing as well. So I'm not no big name coach or anything, but I do get a lot of requests, and I'll say to these guys, you know, sorry, I only really do 10 people at a time. If a slot opens up, you know, I'll post something on Instagram, and they'll say, couldn't you squeeze me in, Anth? And I'll say, man, I ain't really got time, you know, and I can't give you full attention, so I would rather not take your money. What if I paid up front? So, like, you still got guys, you're telling them that you haven't got time to give them attention, and they're offering to give you, like, a 20-week prep up front. Do not pay coaches 20-week preps up front. It might not work out, number one. Oh man, it's just, I don't understand. Like, I'm actually telling them that I don't have time to give them attention, and they still want to give me money. So some of these, you know, bodybuilders are to take some accountability for that as well, because they're just setting a minefield for themselves. If someone tells you they haven't got time, just don't try to throw your money at them again.
Oh, that sounds great. You haven't got any time? Sign me up. That sounds exactly.
That's what I mean.
That's just what I'm looking for. I love that.
The next question is, how many cheat meals am I having?
Yeah, I love that one. I love that one. I did have one this time. Obviously, mentioned no names. It was like, well, the thing is, I did have an extra 100 grams of granola because I felt more hungry than usual.
I can tell you a story about an Indian guy that's pretty funny. Do you want to hear it?
Yeah, as long as it's not racist.
It's not racist at all. It's just the Indian thing will come into it later. It's to do with the food choices. So honestly, this Indian guy, he was male physique. You know, I wasn't taking any bias, but I didn't want to coach him, and I didn't have time. You know, the book was full, and he literally used to email me like every fortnight for like a year. And he said, "Listen, I want to do classic." So like, okay, this guy's super keen. Let's give him a chance. Let's take an extra one on the books or whatever. So I sent him his diet over, and the usual questionnaire. Like, but I had to ask him, like, obviously, being in India, what food sources do you have available? And he couldn't really get red meat, and he could get chicken, but he could get lamb. So I said, okay, it's off season, it's not a big deal. We'll have a bit of lamb in there, whatever. So he sent me a message back saying, you know, which parts of the lamb do I get? Because when I go and buy it, the guy like basically kills the lamb in front of him and chops off the pieces that he requires, type of thing. So, I don't know what part of the lamb's like the leanest part of the lamb. I just said, yeah, just get the leanest part of the lamb or whatever. So anyway, we put lamb in the diet and stuff, and then he sent me the next one saying, where does the DNP go in? Like, I don't use that stuff. I don't like people using that stuff. And then the next one, this is the funny one. So he said, okay, got the diet plan, no DNP. Where is the beer and the marijuana? Because you guys from England like football and drink beer. and you are a big Dorian Yates fan, and I know he smokes marijuana. But yeah, he was chopping lambs up, wanting beer and marijuana in his plan. So, and again, that guy, I asked him for just like the first month, and he paid something like 6 months up front. So I just refunded him, and I told him not to pay up front. I said, don't, because I have a questionnaire, and it has at the bottom, each party can, withdraw the agreement if either party feel that the agreement's not working out. Just give 1 month's notice type of thing. I would never like drop somebody, leave them in the shit type of thing, and vice versa. So yeah, this guy sent 6 months over. Yeah, I just refunded him when we started like.
You didn't just like put a couple of beers in there as post workout.
Yeah, I would have been like, oh, if it was Corona time, I might have considered it. Time's a bit hard. Corona, but all right, yeah, a couple of Coronas and half a marijuana.
Yeah, but if you follow HIT and you're a Dorian Yates fan, you've got to have a joint.
Yeah, yeah. You got only eat the lamb's penis. That's the only bit you're allowed.
The scary thing is, I could have probably, like you say, I could have probably put in like, have some Heineken for breakfast. And,
get the calories in the Guinness.
Yeah, some of the stuff's a bit nuts, man. It's a bit crazy.
Well, maybe it would have worked if you'd have mixed. I'm sure beer and DMP's fine.
Could have counteracted it. Just
sounds fine.
Only if you sniff the
DMP. Insane.
Is that the secret?
He sent me his cycle. I was just like, what the fuck? It's fucking insane. It was a physique guy as well. So there you go. Nothing against physique guys, but you should not be taking like, I think it was something like 4 grams of beer.
Unfortunately, that's like the norm now, isn't it? It's like a lot of the physique guys are taking full scale cycles, and you think, why?
But then you really don't have to do any work. Like before, you didn't need to do as much work, and then as well, like then it's got to be able to take the slack for. You have like some guys at the gym. They like train every now and again. They go and get pissed on the weekend, and then they just rely on the drugs to have a kind of average physique. So it's just like an extreme version. I've never found that more is more anyway. I've never found that like actually doing more. I just die actually. I just am for like this.
You've got the immune system of a nematode.
I don't have an immune system. So more is not more. My teeth will just start falling out and stuff.
What's the old saying? More is not better. Better is better.
Oh, good. Sensei, yes.
Yes, sensei. It's like you said. It's like you said with the training. What if you're training shit? Adding more shit training isn't going to make it better, is it?
Yeah.
More shit stuff. It's not going to work.
Jack, questions?
Is it Jack? Sorry.
Can you hear me?
No, I was having a look.
I thought the questions all went to the central page, Johnny.
No, I only had one on the central page. We've only got like 500 followers on.
Actually, a lot of guys were sending me questions, and I was saying, like, could you send them over to the guys? I did put like send it over to the back, but,
You said send it over to Bang Bros. Like Pornhub's DMs like blown up.
I might have got the wrong hashtag. No, it was definitely Bash Bros anyway.
Now this wasn't a question from Instagram, but it's just one for myself. So, how has everything been since the gyms have reopened? I know you had that little scare sort of last week, but I think you dealt with that pretty quickly. That was done within a day. But how has everything been since, in terms of like members and sign-ups and just how it's going in the gym?
Yeah, we've been real busy, fortunately. Real busy, to be honest. Every night we're full, started, especially peak time, it's like non-stop. And I have spoken to a few people who said some of their gyms are real quiet. And it's not like a chain gym that all people go to. There's a couple of gyms down south. A few friends have sent me some videos at 5, 7 o'clock and it's dead. A friend of mine, his gym in Newcastle is still pretty quiet. So it's a tough one, man. I mean, there obviously is some people out there who are buying into this kind of the COVID-19 scaremongering. I mean, that's obviously my opinion. I don't want to offend anybody. But I'm not going to say it's a load of bollocks. Obviously, COVID-19 or coronavirus exists, but it's not. We all know that it's not as serious as the government are making out. So. But I think we did have Brad. He tested positive for COVID-19, so he closed the gym, had it fogged out. We got told we had to leave it for 3 hours. That was it. I mean, we didn't get closed down. It was my call, mine and Charlie's call to close it. And now, since then, because that costs a lot of money, to be fair. So now, the guys at Ultraflex York, they bought some fogging equipment. We actually just had it fog out. What day are we on? Actually, it was last night. We did a fog out last night. It took like 3 hours, and we only have to leave it like 3 hours to let the chemical settle, and we're good to open again. Again, it wasn't like kind of necessary, but just cautionary. We're going to try and get like one done a week, other than the usual like sanitizing of the machines and stuff. Again, my personal opinion is, does it need to be done? Not really. But again, just for our members' kind of peace of mind and just to keep us what we have to do to stay open, we'll do it. I mean, I don't know what your guys' thoughts on the whole situation.
I think with the sort of members that you attract, the gym is basically like everything to a lot of them, or at least a massive part of their life. So I think regardless, I think your memberships are always going to be sort of quite high, especially considering that you were a newly opened gym as well. And under the Ultraflex name, I think that attracted a load of people as well. Like I know plenty of people that have made trips for hours just to go and visit it. So
yeah, we were getting a lot of guys from Scotland because they were locked down. Yeah, like not until a few weeks back. So there was guys driving like 3, 4, 5 hours to get in and stay for the weekend just to train.
We're just doing masks at our gym. It's just masks on the way in, and then you can kind of take them off as you train. But we're on a local lockdown again at the moment. So if you're not living within the county, you can't come to the gym. So
aren't you on that as well, Anth?
Do you know what? I haven't kind of looked into it that much. All I know at this point is you're not supposed to hang around in groups of 6 or more, which we have the 1 meter rule in the gym. There's the whole, you have to close at 10 o'clock, which we close at 10 o'clock anyway. There's a few of the stipulations, but until actually somebody gets in touch with me and says, listen, you have to close, we'll close, if that's the case. But it's getting crazy, man. I mean, you can't kind of close the gym every time there's a COVID-19 case. We could probably be in there, there's going to be a handful of people in there we don't even know. I mean, we do a temperature check when you come in, etc. But you can have no symptoms at all. So, I mean, what do you do when you could go to Tesco's? I know everybody makes the supermarket example, but you could be in Tesco's, there could be 100 people in there with coronavirus. They're not just going to shut the whole place down. We just got to ride it out and see what happens, you know? I mean, it's not going to go away, is it? So.
No, I mean, we live in a a COVID society now. I mean, I'm back at work and stuff, and we're doing masks and like dividers and stuff like that, and bubbles they have now. So you live in your bubble of students to kind of, if one person like gets ill, then only the bubble's like out. And then, but I mean, the thing is that obviously everything's in place to minimize it, but it doesn't work. It doesn't work. You pass someone in the corridor or whatever, or someone touches something and you touch it. And we weren't allowed to use when one group had used all the microphones, we had to quarantine the microphones. We had to quarantine the microphones.
It just doesn't make sense. It just doesn't make sense.
But it's like, Dan, because obviously I'm in schools as well, and it's exactly the same with us. But then the kid, I drove past a group of 50 kids yesterday, all on their bikes, cycling around together. So it's like,
Yeah, well, we have it. We have all of these rules, and then they go outside and smoke each other, pass each other rollies and stuff.
That's what I've heard, because we've got our physio girl here, Sarah. She's just swimming. She says you have to book your lane at the swimming bath. So like the next lane's empty. So like surely it's like the same water. It's like the water's not going to like separate. It's just again like Lee wanted to go to McDonald's, so we went in, like you have to wear a mask to go in. Then you take it off to eat your meal. And then if you want to go to the toilet, you got to put it back on. It's just, again, it does not make sense. I don't know who's making these rules up. But they're probably sitting in the Houses of Parliament, like having a little chuckle about it, to be honest. But
someone's making money. Someone's making money, and it's not. I'm not saying it's
shares in masks.
I'm not saying it's not real. It is real. We know it's real.
Yeah, we don't want to offend anybody, and there's obviously people who have passed away and have suffered from this. But again, it's the same as regular flu. There's people died from the flu. There's people ill from the flu. It's just kind of the same scenario.
Well, flu's really fucking serious.
Yeah, we're not going to turn this into coronavirus.
No, let's leave that there.
Good shot.
Yeah, let's leave that.
Yeah, honestly, I'm fucking sick of hearing about it. It's crazy. Like before, are you open? Yeah, we're open. Are you open? Do we have to wear a mask? Do we have to get a test? We're open, man. We're open, guys. If you want to come to Train Flex, we've got things in place to sanitize the place, temperature checks, all that kind of thing. You see, we're getting a once weekly fogging out now. We're doing all we can just to kind of keep our place as clean as possible.
So, Dan, how's Ellis faring now? Getting closer to the show.
Well, we went away, but I haven't spoken to her.
the whole trip.
Pretty much, yeah. Luckily, I had the dogs, so we're all right. Hold on, she's.
Well, she's going to smack me in the face.
Just checking.
I'm just shutting the door because, mate, fuck me. I'd rather literally have all my teeth pulled out than do that fucking trip again. It's probably the worst experience ever.
When you get married again?
Yeah, well, I might just fucking shave my face off with a spoon and start my life again. No, like she's in. She's two in. She's two in for her class, but that's what they wanted to do. Went to go and see Dan Welburn so we could spin some ideas about how to basically like fill her out without her losing her mind. You can't have like all quad separations in the division that she wants to be in. So yeah, it's just about spilling her correctly without too much water around the bum basically. That's it.
So that's why you were late. You stopped off in Mackey's on the way home, is it?
No, she's not allowed any of that shit. Her putting her carbs up is like nothing. I stopped off in Burger King actually, and I just pressed add patty, like add patty, and then and then that was me. But yeah, no, Dan doesn't do like cheat meals. Actually, no, he does do cheat meals, but just not for Alice.
I was thinking about this, right? So obviously if she's two in now, would it work, to like sort of do what we would do for a show and then do it like 2 days earlier and then that little short bit of water rebound but you still look lean sort of thing a couple of days after? Is that the sort of look she'd be looking for on stage?
Yeah, like spill on purpose.
Yeah, but obviously as round as possible without looking too watery,
Yeah, that's the plan. Rather than aiming at the end result, actually going beyond the end result and then spilling, I think is creates a better look, a fuller look, rather than just Because people think as well, like the category is just like bikini with fat asses. Like when you see it and it's actually fat on stage, it's like it's noticeable. It's noticeable. Anyway, we don't want to talk about fucking vagina people.
Honestly, the women's classes criteria is just baffling. It's like they'll tell a girl to go away and come in a bit harder, then they come in harder, then they tell them to get a bit softer.
Yeah.
At least when you're a guy, you just have to come in like a big.
Yeah, that's it. That's the thing about bodybuilding. Even the other classes of like classic, they're like, we need to lose some muscle mass, like so that you can win your pro card. And then when you win your pro card, if you could just put it all back on, like. That's like a weird, like at least with bodybuilding, it's like be massive, like as massive as you can, and literally all your body fat gone. There's no real like.
Well, you say that, man. Last weekend, technically, the classic guys did get told they were too big. Yet if they were pro classic, they'd have to be bigger.
No. I mean that was my point. But that's a bodybuilding division, isn't it? Whereas like when doing the two like you know, it is easier. Although obviously it's still someone's opinion, it's still something to aim for. Like, imagine like just being like going to your show and being like, no, you're too ripped. You're too ripped. You lost, too ripped. Off you go.
Give me a few hours, I'll sort it.
Go and get fatter. Goodbye. Like,
Patty,
it just
patty.
Yeah. Just ticking through all the criteria. I did have one guy that I knew at the gym, and he said that he lost his show because he was too ripped.
You told us about this before.
Yeah, I told it. He was a Welsh guy. So
Fucking Welsh.
just, you know,
Not
pretty
your mate,
standard.
is it?
Pretty standard.
It's not your mate.
No, I don't think he has any mates. That's why he told me. I didn't even know him.
No, I thought you were kind of talking about the other Welsh mate.
All right.
You never just-
You mean Mr. Wales?
No, not Mr. 22 times Welsh. But he probably would say something like that, to be honest.
Well, you've got another Welsh mate.
No, yeah, I do have another Welsh mate. I mean, the two, but it's not talking about Neil Andrews.
I've heard someone say that they got marked down because the shoulders were too wide. Unless you Paul Dillette, it's like,
yeah.
I ain't
Oh,
seen
God.
that guy.
Yeah.
One body part that you can't have that is too wide.
I just had too much. Well, Connor from the British who won the super heavyweights, they all gave him loads of shit. Like, oh, he's been injected into his delts, and I just thought if I like had pretty shit arms, I'd probably put it in my arms as well. So I don't know. People are calling out all sorts of weird stuff. If you're going to go oil based or plant based, but mostly oil based, then you wouldn't just be like, cool, the delts are way too big, I'll only put it in there.
Yeah.
So have you ever experimented with that, Anth?
Nah, man, I'm too much of a pussy to even do a side shot. I have used Cabajet before years and years ago. I'll Postville. That was like back in the 90s when I was probably looking at too shit to even know what it did. But it is quite effective. I've used it on a few of my guys. I won't say any names, but I don't know if you know what Postville is. It basically just makes blood rush to the area. Basically, you just have like a pump feeling all the time.
Would you do it before training?
Literally, you literally do it before you go on stage, which is a little bit risky because you've got tan and stuff on, and you're gonna shoot to a tanned up bit of skin. But we both know somebody who's used it, Dan, and it looked pretty good, to be fair. The triceps kind of nice and round. I'm gonna get loads of DMs now and asking if I can get them.
Send it all to me.
I actually have some in the cupboard.
Yes, good. Send. I'll give you address. Good.
Do what Natty used to do. You could do it all up the quads, because the same Natty used to put Essaclean all up the back. But, we can't
How the fuck would you? Yeah, I've never.
I honestly, when I was competing, I didn't really do the side shot thing. Maybe it's delts, but it's not my thing. And I don't think it works anyway, to be honest.
No.
It's just scar tissue.
I did get a question. I don't know whether it's a very good question. It says, should you contract / squeeze as hard as you can on every rep, even if it means cutting weight and reps within the workout?
Oh, this is a bit of a pet peeve of mine at the moment with the whole over-execution thing. So yes, you've got to train strict, but you see these guys now and they're doing like they've got a prime handle and they're doing like a fucking 6-second positive and like a 9-second negative and just like super slow and super squeezy, and yeah, you don't need to do that.
Fucking boy band member.
Yeah, just like everything's like basically like execution. Just even things like barbell rows. I mean, barbell rows, you're supposed to, your body's a leverage system. It's supposed to kind of, explode a little bit. But now you've got guys who are like literally doing like 10 kilo a side, like super slow, and like I don't think it's effective, to be honest. I think over execution is detrimental. I think obviously control your weights and explore on the positive, control the negative. But yeah, we've got this, like, even guys are writing in routines, like, yeah, you got to go like 4 seconds over and 5 seconds on the way down. And if I don't count shit when I'm training, it's just going to take away from the intensity.
But you can tell when someone's letting their weight control them. When the negatives are like faster than the positive, you're basically resting, aren't you? So you can tell when it's like taking them for a fucking ride. And then this squeeze, I don't know, like Leroy just say, just for a split second,
it's half a second. People hear me PT in all effects. Listen, all you'll hear me say, they're probably sick as shit to hear me saying, but like half a second at the top, down slow. That's all I say. But most people who are PT, or even over the years, it's just like there's no squeeze. The negatives just dropped.
Yeah.
So that's like 60% of your rep gone. But again, I'm not saying over execute and hold it at the top for 4 seconds and down for 6 seconds. Just boom it up there, feel it squeeze, control it down. That's, don't drop it.
That's the thing that fucks me off the most about dropping it. I mean, you own the gym, so breaking the kit's probably the most. But it's like you wasted the negative that you could have definitely done. You could have definitely, if you've got it there, you could definitely have done so you fucked it. If you dropped it, you fucked it.
I mean, most of the fiber damage happens on the negative anyway, so you're just wasting half of the rep.
You basically, by trying to look like a bad man and throwing it on the floor, you've told everyone you're a pussy, as far as I'm concerned. That's what it's gone down in my red book at. Obviously, I don't carry around a red book because I use my mind to remember numbers. I've gone through this before. I don't need a logbook.
This is the logbook war.
Yeah.
What colour's your logbook, Jack?
Mine.
Mate, I bet Jack has an A1 like fucking poster chart that he picks up at him.
People just lose them anyway, because obviously every inbox on the Ultraflex pages, have you found a pink logbook? Have you found a red logbook? Have you found a yellow logbook?
Yeah, it's in the bin.
If it's that important to you, you wouldn't fucking lose it. So
yeah.
Man.
I don't know. The logbook thing for me is like, if you're getting stronger anyway, because you remember like the key things that you're getting stronger at, and then you try and make it harder, and you're obviously like progressing, and some people find it really effective to like definitely like progress. You do need to get stronger and better and at harder positions to progress. 100% you do. I just didn't find like writing it in a book and getting obsessed about it so that I cried at night made it any more successful. And sometimes I'd turn up and I'd have to like sometimes you turn up and it's just, you're not going to lift the weight last week, because if you do, you're just going to snap yourself in half. And I thought that the logbook, I don't need more pressure. I need like less pressure. I must lift more forever. And if everyone was able to progressively overload with just weight alone, rather than making it harder, different positions and foot positions, then we'd all be world's strongest man.
That's what I found with the logbook, was that I was more inclined to get injured, because I was looking for that number regardless of how I was feeling. And then I'd end up, if I didn't hit that number or beat my number or whatever, I'd class that as a shit session. And I'd, like, first exercising, if I didn't hit that number, my head would go and the session would be shit. So I just fucking binned it off. Yeah.
And then, I don't know, when I started training, I never logged anything apart from in captain's log. And then generally I accidentally got quite strong, and I'm like relatively strong for a bodybuilder. By accident, because I love making it hard. I mean, it has to be hard, like otherwise you don't get a response. I don't know. I'm not sold by the logbook. The principles of the logbook, the message of the logbook is good. You need to lift in a progressive manner, and you need to like make it harder, and like you definitely do need to do those things. But I think not everyone needs to actually write it down on a piece of paper, apart from Jack, because he's got shit eyebrows.
I think it could be beneficial for especially the guys starting out, because once you get relatively pretty strong, you're not going to progress that much anyway. Some of the guys in the gym now, they've got no direction, so maybe a logbook could come in handy to get you to kind of, even if you just recorded like your bench squat, deadlift, military press. I'm not saying log the whole workout.
You'd remember. I'd probably be able to give like you like a year where like what year did you first lift like 3 plates a side? Like, do you know what I mean? Like, you do.
I am terrible with timelines and
But you'd know, like, if someone, even though like someone did actually ask me what I benched for the first time in ages, I thought that the memes that people had created about not doing that had reached everyone at this point. But someone did actually ask like what I bench, and the thing is, the response is always like, well, I don't really bench and stuff, and then obviously it fizzles down and they're a bit drunk and they're a fucking roider. But you know, but you know these sorts of things, don't you? You know the biggest squat you've ever done. You know the most reps that you've ever done at this. You know your biggest deadlift. Like, you know that stuff because you give a shit about it. But
that's why I don't keep a logbook anymore, because I know those things are like up there, and I probably ain't going to do those again. So my goal now is just to take it as it comes and go as heavy as I can on that day. If I can't, then I can't. But yeah, unfortunately, you can do the injuries and stuff. The best heaviest days are kind of gone. So I think it can be beneficial for you're a younger guy, just to keep some direction. And like I say, just even if you just log the bench, squat, deadlift, military press, you know, barbell row or something, you don't have to log all your curls and stuff.
But the concept of progressive overload is 100% real, but the logbook doesn't doesn't need to happen. I think that's an argument that's going on all over the internet at the moment about if you're in the gym smashing it up and you do your warm-up sets and you feel it, you do feeler sets, you know what you did last time, and then you can kind of feel whether you're going to have a strong day and push it and stuff like that. Like, and if there is another rep in the tank, then you'll just get it whether it's written on a piece of paper or not, because you're constantly pushing the envelope. Like, anyway, like, unless you're a power lifter and the power lifters like work like a couple of % under what they can actually do, don't they? And then they kind of progress their weight at 95%, basically. And then when showtime comes, and they just snap their patellas off.
What does it do for you, Jack?
What's my view?
Oh, sure, yeah, because you use
what Anth says is a good point. So I think you should potentially be tracking, keeping an eye on all of like the main compounds. But then I agree with Dan for the rest of it. It's just as long as you're going to sort of failure and doing what you like, everything you can, you sort of rely on the fact that that's probably progressing anyway. So I think as long, like, I don't know, I haven't used my logbook for like 4 months, something like that. But
I thought you were shrinking.
Since we mentioned it, obviously.
Yeah, you bullied me into not using it.
To be fair though, if you asked me what I lifted last week on each exercise,
you wouldn't be able to tell me.
I could definitely tell you from the top of my head, 100%.
What did you lift?
Give me a lift.
I don't know.
Bench press.
Well, my bench press last week, very easy, because I tore my pec the week before, and so it was 0. I've still got a bit of a bruised nipple, actually. I got one. A bruised nipple there.
RDL.
What did you banded lateral raise?
Banded lateral raise.
Reverse.
Yeah.
Inside.
Yeah, yellow-sided lateral on a beanbag.
What did you snatch strip RDL?
What did you boy band pull down?
Here's one I see literally every day. Like, again, I face pulls. How did you face pull?
Someone actually asks how much can you face pull?
What? I see it every day because the reception area in Olaflex is right near the cable station.
Yeah.
I just see like dozens and dozens and dozens of face pulls, and like most of them are just using traps. And I hate the exercise anyway, but like if you're really going to do them, they're just basically like trap pulls. But I'm not one of those guys who's going to go and say, "Hey, excuse me, you're doing that wrong." Like, if someone asks for help, I will give it. But like,
it's like that. That's like
so many face pulls.
The dumbbell
face pulls, but
what the fuck?
Yeah, it's zero. There's just like zero resistance anywhere. That's another one that I actually hate is the dumbbell kickback when you're like this.
Yeah,
so you have to do them, put it up, and then whatever. At least there's some resistance there.
If I ever come up to Durham, it'll be face pulls, supersets, and with kickbacks.
Yeah.
I'll make sure.
And you'll have pull downs like this.
Yeah.
Like to the belly button.
Yeah. I did have actually the shall I help someone when I was in Ultraflex Hull this weekend. Because the guy got on the hammer pullover, which I hate as a machine anyway, so I wasn't going to do that. But he took the plates off the machine next door and just put them on the pullover, and then got on it and like used it. But he put it on like the rack bit, like he wasn't loading the machine, because obviously the machine like loads at the back. And so I was like, after the first one, like, he'll get it. Just don't say anything. Just don't say anything. Like, he's going to just hate that you sent it. You always look like a fat roider anyway. He's going to hate you just already. And then he was like, what?
Yeah, feels good.
And then he went and got some more and then put them on the same thing. And I was like, well, now he's definitely going to realise, isn't he? So it was only on his third set when he hadn't realised that the weight hadn't changed from 0. I was like, yeah, you have to like load it like at the back, you know, like, and he still looked at me like I'd fucking stamped on his kids. I still fucking absolutely hated it. But yeah, it had to be done. I was like, no, you do actually.
Yeah, in his defence, some of the hammer strength machines can be a little bit confusing with all the weight on. So
Yeah.
Let's not be too hard on the guy, but yeah, he should have maybe spelt that.
Well, no,
the distance was increasing a little bit.
Yeah, I thought he might have just figured out that, like, you know, 2 plates is different to none. But no, it's just the fact that not many people want, like, if I was like a normal, like, then I probably would, I feel less inclined to go and help someone because I'm like a bit bigger. If people like take it like as an effect, like I'm less inclined to like help someone with a pushchair, like get onto a bus, because they look at me like you're gonna
steal the pushchair.
Yeah, exactly. I'm gonna just run off with it. Like they'd rather like hoink it up themselves. I'm okay. Like yeah.
I actually helped an old lady. She fell over on the floor.
Well, afterwards, you helped her fall on the floor.
She fell over, and I went over and I helped her up. And she was like, "No, I wouldn't have to cross over out the way of you." And so I was like, "I'm fine." I just left her on the floor. She crossed over just to kind of avoid me, because I looked, you know, the stereotypical bald bodybuilder guy who's going to beat up the wife, who's on tons of steroids and stuff. But she crossed over and fell over on the icy bit of path, and it was my fault. It wasn't like, "Hey, thanks for, you know, thanks for the help." You know.
Ooh, he's having a bollock in for something.
He's been summoned.
Oh.
The prayer bed's kicked in.
Did you see the broccoli he did?
No.
He put Ellis's candles in the broccoli, didn't he?
Abe's just pissed all over the bed.
It'll dry out, man. It'll dry out. You don't sleep anyway, Dan, so it makes no difference.
Oh no, it's not for me. It doesn't affect me at all.
It's on Alice's side, is it?
I'm about to go and piss the bed myself.
Well, how many minutes of deep sleep did you get? Or how many seconds?
Last night, I reckon I've almost had half an hour's deep sleep this week.
I actually had 2 hours last night. 2 hours.
2 hours deep sleep. Let's look at yesterday. 12 minutes. 12 minutes last night. That's not bad for me.
Is that a PB?
Did it give you a pat on the back?
No, my PB. There was 4 minutes the night before. I have had a few. Oh yeah, there we go. On Saturday it was 0.
Actually, there was one night last week. I had a weird night. I was up like 8 times, and for whatever reason, and the O-ring didn't even like detect that I'd been asleep. Have you ever had that before?
Really?
And it was fully charged, so it wasn't like that was a very tiresome day.
Maybe you hadn't been to sleep.
Yeah, I literally felt like I hadn't been to sleep because I was up like 8 times, up and down, and I had a bit of stress that day, so we didn't sleep.
Yeah,
we just missed it out.
Yeah, there's fuck sleep anyway. Overrated. Margaret Thatcher didn't sleep, and she wasn't a massive cunt.
Yeah,
Oh, hang on. Oh, yeah. Oh. Yeah.
Well, I had this conversation with one of my guys earlier. It's like, he said the same, I'm not getting enough sleep. And I said, well, you must be getting enough because you're progressing. So, what is enough in the whole kind of general standard? I think they need to change that 8 hours a night bullshit, because 90% of people I know don't get 8 hours sleep a night. Not in this day and age, anyway.
Yeah, I get like 5 hours sleep and be good to
That's
go.
because you're always getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning to get meals in before leg day.
It's only Saturday because I train at 12 o'clock. It's only Saturday.
Man, that's bullshit. We should know that the food you eat the day before fuels that well. The problem is for sleep, you'd probably have a better workout anyway. I used to do that shit. I used to set the alarm at 3 in the morning and have a shake and go to bed and feel like shit. And yeah, sleep.
I literally got up at 4 o'clock in the morning, went for a walk, and then started eating his meals ready for leg day. That was at 12 o'clock. It's like, come on, just fucking sleep.
Yeah, there is.
I admire the dedication, but yeah, the sleep would probably do you better, unless it was lab sleep.
Yeah.
Well,
you're not really.
To be fair, I was in bed like 9:30, 10:15 because I'm bored.
I've been in bed at 9:30 since I was in junior school.
I know.
9.
Mate, I'm getting old. I'm getting old.
9:30 in the morning. Sometimes I get up before I go to bed.
Hold on, I actually had to think about that.
Yeah, I got fucking well confused.
Oh man.
I haven't got any more questions, basically.
Do you want to do the... Oh, go on, G.
Oh, we'll do the 5, yeah, because it is getting around that sort of time, isn't it?
Yeah, track the 5.
So, every guest...
5 quick fire, is it?
Yeah, it's like a quick fire. Yeah, so it's 5 top tips. They don't have to be bodybuilding related. They could just be life hacks.
Oh, fuck, you put me on the spot here. I mean,
Well, that's the whole point. That's the whole point, Anth.
Oh,
the whole game.
Anything you can tell, like the younger viewers.
I did want to play actually the game. If I'd have prepared it a bit better, I wanted to play. Do you remember when you come round and you stayed at mine and we played the game where
in the ball?
Yeah, I thought you were going to say something else and hide the sausage or something.
We played the game about guessing the bodybuilder from the nickname.
Yeah.
And Anth smashed it. You knew smashed it. You knew all of them, and I was shit.
That was the weekend that I had like severe diarrhea.
That's when
in Dan's house.
I gave you my house for the weekend. I moved out. Me and Alice moved out and gave Anth my house. He just shat in the shower for 3 days.
Dan's bathroom is like in the living room, so like I had so much stomach cramp. I was waiting for like hours to go to the toilet, and plus he made us like a huge steak. I was like, oh my. Yeah, just as soon as anyone else left, it was just carnage. I really ran into the toilet. Sorry, I didn't really see how Dan destroyed your bathroom. And then I couldn't find the toilet roll. I was like, fuck. No, I just used your bath towel. We found the toilet roll. Yeah, life hacks. I mean, oh man, this is a tough one because you've got to be careful how you tread on these ones.
Any tips? I mean, like, one of them just said, like, I can't remember. One of them just said, like, stay sassy or something. So
stay blessed.
Who the fuck was that?
Yeah, that didn't happen. I was just trying to make sure.
Okay, don't buy a chocolate fire guard. That's obviously one. That's the old age pensioner joke. Oh man, you put me on the spot here because they're all going to be bodybuilding related because I'm a boring bodybuilder. So
that's all right.
That's all right.
One of them could be Dan. Don't get married, but we won't say that one. We'll say that one.
I agree. I agree with that one.
At least she's richer than me. She's richer.
I learned a lesson.
Are you divorced, Darren?
No. I got to the engagement part and then I thought, no.
I've done enough for us all, so it's all right.
I think Johnny's been engaged like 14 times.
No. Been engaged 3 times and married twice.
Right.
Twice. It should be.
No, hang on. I'm pretty sure that it re-engaged the same girl like 5 times.
No, once. We were never engaged.
There was an off and an on and an off and an on.
Yeah, we weren't engaged at the time. We were
and
engaged.
Then you were off. Oh, so then you definitely sealed you breaking up by getting engaged.
Yes.
He's like Ross, our friends.
Think tank.
I've been divorced twice by the age of 27.
Animal.
All right, so don't get married. Should have. You missed that one.
I was actually only joking about them because I am married, so we shouldn't say that one. Don't do face pulls unless you have deltoid pulls on it. Don't overcomplicate things, and that's one thing I see every day. Not just in bodybuilding as well. Just overcomplicating things and overthinking things. I have various conversations on because if any of you guys know if you work at the gym county, you have like various conversations daily, and most of them are like kind of questions where people are majorly overthinking things.
Yeah.
I don't know. One more. Give me one more. I don't know. You put me on the spot a little bit. It takes a little bit more thinking actually. If it would be a worthwhile one, we can do jokey shit ones, but keep it simple. I mean, again, that's with everything. The older I get, the more I realise that the less shit I need. With everything, to be honest.
There you go. You heard it from
there were 5 pretty shit ones, weren't there? So Ryan those up, Dan, what were they?
They were keep it simple, then keep it simple. Don't get married.
Don't overcomplicate it. That was it. Don't overthink. Sorry, don't overthink.
Was it? I thought it was don't overcomplicate and keep it simple. But I didn't want to correct you on it being the same thing.
One of us wipe your ass with Dan's towels.
Yeah.
Use Dan's BD.
I haven't got a B-Day. I wish I had a B-Day now. Now we spoke
Don't start with this now.
Don't start because we'll have loads of fucking questions about it again.
We still didn't get any comments about what a fucking B-Day is. I had to go to work and I asked someone what a B-Day is for, and he said it's instead of wiping your ass.
So I want to read a comment.
My dad thought I had 2 toilets. We've got a BD, which didn't get used, by the way. And my dad was like, why have you got 2 toilets?
Shit in
and
it.
I do know someone who actually went to the toilet in the BD because he thought it was a toilet.
Yes.
And he was like, oh, you flush it. I was like, oh. Fuck.
That's my kind of guy. Until he realised it had a plug hole, and you're like, oh no.
There you go. There's one. Don't have a poo in the BD.
Like there's one comment on YouTube I wanted to read out, right? Which I don't know what this guy's smoking. So based on the last episode, it says, so let's get into the real world, shall we? Any clown that claimed they're natural with an IFBB pro, whether it's classic or open, even as an amateur for that matter, we're talking complete and utter bullshit. Unfortunately, some test positive at natural shows and just look up their hall of shame. So I didn't know if Jack wanted to give a little response on that.
No, it's just that clown obviously doesn't know who we're talking about in the competitor. Like, he doesn't know who he is. There are plenty of people that have turned pro and will turn pro naturally. Just because he has inferior genetics and work rate, then sorry about that, mate. But you don't really need to go too far into it. It is achievable to turn pro naturally.
Probably not as a super heavyweight bodybuilder.
No, I'm not I wouldn't say it as an open. It's very.
Well, they were saying about the classic guy who won. Who's won all the tested stuff.
He is natural. Yeah, the guy that won last week, the classic, he is natural. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you have to look him up. He's not.
But if you look at the size of him compared to Ryan Cartwright, you can see that he is natural. Ryan's nearly twice the size of him. Yeah.
Some people just cannot grasp the fact there is guys out there with extremely good genetics and they work the balls off, and they're just jealous and they just can't accept it.
It looks
those
like
people are out there.
This guy, he looks like this is the sort of guy that Anth was talking about earlier, where you should have certain attributes to be a bodybuilder. It looks like he has none of those from the pictures on his profile. So I think he's just hating on some people who do have those attributes by the looks of things.
Well, I mean, just also, I mean, just fuck off, innit?
Yeah, why would you even leave that comment?
And you go, I know what these guys need to hear. Because the podcast is really serious all the time. I better inform them about how they don't know something. I don't fucking care, mate. I don't know about you.
Actually, what I said was last week, because we didn't make it on, I'll do giveaways. So if anybody posts like an actual reasonable comment or something in the comments on your YouTube page, guys, we'll give them a newly released Team Nasty No Mercy for the Bar hoodie and t-shirt. They're not even released yet. So
what if I comment?
No, you're
hey, if you've got a comment, then you guys got to pick one, so you can pick yourself.
Well, you've got to put a winning comment, all right? But also, the thing that tops the winning comment is any information that leads to the apprehension of the disliker. We have a serial disliker on the page. Anyone with information...
He's just going to end up hurting himself or something, because he's obviously a very wounded individual anyway to post that, so...
There's going to be 20 people saying it's Ryan now, isn't there?
Well, when Ryan left, there was another disliker. So now we have 2.
Yeah.
No, there should be 3, because one would be his mum.
Well, yeah.
Unless she is still liking him.
Tell you what I'll do, guys. What I'll do, I'll post something on my page and just say, listen, comment below, follow Bash Bros. You guys pick a name out. Obviously, if you want to go on there as a false alias. So you get, and then the next podcast, one of you guys is going to have a Team Nasty fucking No Mercy for the Bar hoodie. By accident, just by chance. But yeah, I'll do that tomorrow. I'll say, hey, when the podcast goes on, I'll say, right, comment below. You get yourself a free. We'll chuck you some free shit in. We might even chuck you in some free Trump action.
Oh shit!
Shameless product, fucking. Yeah.
Anth says if you really want to, spit
awesome Ultraflex stuff. Shameless plug, Ultraflex. I will give you some free shit.
Lots of prizes, but the biggest prizes are for anyone who finds out who's hitting the dislike button. Any information leading to.
Dan's got it in for this guy now. This guy going down.
We need a name, okay? We'll keep looking for you, and then when I find you, I'm gonna be like, no, dislike you.
His greenhouse windows are going out.
I'm gonna be like, boo.
Just like those photos.
Yeah. Well, boo.
Dan will unfollow you.
Yeah, that's it. Sarah from accounts at Direct Line. No. I dislike you. Bad. All right. Well, it's way past my bedtime where I stare at the wall for 8 hours.
I was just going to see you. What is the point?
Yeah, no. Well, I'm gonna eat. Yeah, I'll eat something and then stare at the ceiling. I decided to not call it sleep anymore. I call it time in bed.
I'm in bed.
Yeah. Although because Abe's pissed all over the bed, I haven't actually surveyed which part of the bed.
I'm on the floor.
It might just be time on floor tonight. Yeah.
Time on the sofa. That's a bit.
All right.
On that bombshell.
Yeah, it wasn't much of a bombshell this week. I apologise for not making it home in time for the viewers. So must have been busy.
You've been quite tame tonight, actually, Dan.
I have been quite tame. To be honest, I'm fucking smashed from being up and down the country.
Here's the thing, though. You do not do the driving, so.
I know.
No, literally. I'm the dog minder. I'm the dog minder. So basically, I basically have the dog just going like this, like that, all the time, like literally for like 5 hours.
You didn't get any sleep.
Just poke. I wouldn't sleep anyway, would I? But it was like Chinese torture. Just like, oh, I'm gonna step on your scrotum, round and round and round on your scrotum. Yeah. Like literally.
I can see in the passenger side with like the CPAP on.
No, for 10 hours. Yeah, like so, like. Just being like Alice's little rent boy for the whole fucking weekend. Oh, please, yeah. Can I use the kitchen, please? No, I'm cooking fucking beans. Oh, sorry.
What's stupid?
So yeah, it was quite weird. Also, Abe ripped up like loads of their cushions as well, and Alice just went, "Well, we'll just take them with us, and they won't realise." And I was like, "Pretty sure they're gonna realise that Abe's destroyed half."
How long has Alice got left?
2 weeks.
You want to fucking pray for your life.
So it's there. Well, I'm just going to stay at work forever, I think. And like you said, I don't sleep anyway, so I just stay there.
Just come over fresh. You can sleep in the on top of the cardio.
Mate, I'll start jogging now. I should be there by, Ellis's show, probably. Yeah, I wanted to come and, obviously come, and visit from there, but I thought maybe if I'm nice to Alice when she's competing and stick around and support him, that she'll return the favour. It's highly unlikely, really, when I think about it. Really, I've been duped, I reckon.
Well, Ultraflex will definitely be on the schedule for our Bash Bros tour anyway, so we'll be going up for that for sure.
We're about to hit a huge deal with someone that's going to finance private jets so we can just fly around to gyms for...
So I expect you boys to turn up onto the skateboards in the car park.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
Purely you can hire an 18 van.
It's going to be... One day you'll just be looking through the bins and there'll just be me wearing some Crocs. And I'll be like, yeah, it's the tour. It's the tour. You know you've given up on life when you're wearing Crocs. Like, yeah,
Crocs. Which, the flip-flop ones are the ones with, the holes in.
Yeah, the holes. And, the little, yeah.
Honestly, you've got to kill yourself when you start wearing that guy who put the comment probably wears those.
Yeah.
Sorry, guy, but you got them on.
100%.
And the fearless sweatshirt.
All right, I'm out.
Thank you, Anth.
Big love as always.
Thanks, Anth.
I'll
We'll try and get a call in tomorrow, Dan, yeah?
Yes, mate. Easy now.
All right, take it easy, guys.
Cheers, gents.